So we're going to do a quick demo of this this winter tree. I'm not going to worry about the background or anything like that. It's just the actual painting of the tree. Now I know I've put out a video before, and in that video, one subscriber, one commenter said that they couldn't really see what I was doing. I was painting outdoors, and actually they were right. So when I went back and reviewed that video, they were correct. My arm was across things a lot. So I just want to kind of go through that process again. So this is just burnt umber. We're going to be using a touch of that and a touch of this ultramarine blue, just to darken things up a bit. So we'll leave that one in there. This is a number 12 round, and this is a much smaller size painting, but the method's the same. So it's this push on and push off idea that we have. So we're pushing down and pushing off, and it's going all the way up. When we paint trees, you can never really replicate what you do. So just to give you an idea of the pushing on and pushing off process. Now the thicker parts of the branch as they go up, and that's the thing always to remember, is we're starting out thick and we're going to go thin. I'm just going to put these in to start with, and I'm going to come in with a smaller brush for some of the finer parts. So I have the right brush for the right job, really. I don't always stick to the lines of what we've got going. But the main thing is to remember to have fun with it. It really is the main thing. So we're going to go quite fast on this. Going to vary the mixes a little bit. Going to come in a touch darker on here. Just go straight in with this ultramarine. And bring that down in here. Almost like creating a touch of shadows, but we don't want them everywhere. We want to keep that mixed up. So at the moment we've just got these two colours working in together. Now we'll come in with this number 2, a Skoda brush. And let's pop in some of the finer sort of strokes here. Again, it's the same principle of pushing on and pushing off. This mixture at the moment is quite liquid. So vary the directions of those as well. Let's just put that one in here. Hopefully you can see that okay. In nature, I've said this many times before, I mean, we kind of have a built-in sense of what trees look like out in nature, but actually there's kind of a myth that you should go one up, one down, one up, one down, and so on, and never have them parallel. Go and look in nature, you'll find in many cases that's not actually true. I mean, from a balance point of view, I always think it looks better if you've got branches coming out that are staggered, but nature throws up all kinds of strange anomalies. The main bit is really to kind of go thick to thin and kind of get them all in proportion, really. Let's just have one coming in here, a bit of foreshortening, and we'll take off some of these bits and bobs off here. Now, in my original video of doing this Castle Acre tree, I've painted many times this tree. I think I sprayed back in with some liquid spray gun. And I'm going to do that again in a second. Let's just get rid of that paper, talking nonsense, piece of liquid there. So you can see, quite quick, keep it mixed, keep the variation going, with trees you can carry on forever. I mean, the thing is you really can carry on forever and a day. Going up and filling in the twiggery. In reality, twigs that are on the edge, especially in winter, there are tens of thousands of them just on one tree. So you could really be there absolutely all day long doing them. It really doesn't matter is what your study is, really. If you're studying the tree and you want to get really into it in depth, then go for it and spend ages on it. I'm just trying to get this whole demonstration out of the way very fast and just show you how you can paint quite quickly and get quite realistic results in terms of impressionist style of painting. Make sure that you've got dark and light going on in these. You don't want everything in the same tones, so some of it's lighter than some of it's darker. But hopefully that's going to give you an idea of the way I approach trees. And there we go. I'll put the background in a second when this is all dry. But before we dry, something that's similar to a spray gun, your fingers. There we go. We'll just pop in some water on my fingers, and you're going to get the same little speckles that I got in the original video, where the water just goes in almost like a fine mist. So it's a similar thing that you can do there. I'm going to wait for that to dry and come back to it. So this is now dry, and we're going to go back in and just paint in some other mixtures similar to the original, but I'm not going to try and copy the original. That would be daft. Just to give you an idea, this is a little grey mixture I'm putting together, but I'm going to use a bigger brush for this just to get it in quicker. In the original I think I used a flat brush, 3/4 inch, but I do use flat brushes now and again, but my favourite brush is this squirrel mop. So I'm just going to put this in really fast. Just got to check that this is all locked down here, because otherwise we're going to get a run underneath. And then we go. And we have to do this fast because I'm kind of painting backwards. So once I've got this in, I have to leave it alone. Otherwise we're going to get lots of blurring. There we go. A bit more sparkle and speckle than the original. It's kind of backwards doing it like this. I know some painters do paint what I would call backwards, so put in the dark first and then go into the light tones. Let's try some yellow ochre. Let's pop that in there as this first initial kind of wash. Have that bleed up into there. And that's that. And then I'll dry it. I'll be back when I've dried it. So this is dried off, but I want to get this sort of wet into wet kind of misty blue in here, so I'm just going to dampen this a touch. And pop in some cerulean blue. Just a touch of cerulean. There we go. And then just let it do its own thing in the background. Might add in some sort of cobalt as well, just to mix it up a little bit. Bit more clear water, just so that feeds up into there. There we go on that one. And then it's really a case of letting this dry off before we attempt to paint the next part. We'll just echo some of those colours in here just quickly. Got a few kind of bits and bobs like that here. Kind of goes in an oval bowl really. And here's the water in here, and this is the bank. But we'll pop in some green mixture here. This is cadmium yellow. This is cerulean, cad yellow again, cerulean. Okay, just want to make that a little bit darker. There we go. Just gonna touch that in and let it do its own thing, let it sort of blend and bleed. And we'll hint some more of these green bits and bobs there going back. So it's kind of throwing that back a bit. And now we'll dry it off.